Yay! Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, and of course we're gonna finish with the UJ duo later tonight. JU. Sure. Okay. All right. Oh, UJ JU. Okay. I just want to say it's really been a great pleasure and honor. And tonight will not be officially as the last meeting of my term, but again, this is the last meeting of the season. So I'm really grateful, and the officers here, I really want to acknowledge you guys have done a tremendous job. It's such a great club here with your help.
Okay, pat on my back. I'll pat on your back.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so we're gonna do this at the table topic section. Is that correct? So we're gonna leave that. And then other than that, anybody want to share anything? Want to say anything about the season? No? Robert, nothing?
Nope.
VP of Education here.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go into the election later today. But now,
Oh, wow. More people coming up.
anybody, if nothing else wants to report or announce, we're gonna go ahead and turn our meeting to our Toastmaster of the night, Ursula and Jesse. So let's go ahead and welcome.
Johnson.
会员们、嘉宾们，晚上好。
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi, Johan. 今天我们是 Ursula 和 Jessie。我说中文 ，Jessie 说英文。
我说英文。
对，我们要练习。今天有4个种，第一种是事先准备好的演讲。
对，事先准备好的演讲第一部分。
第二种是竞选演讲，每个人都可以参加。第三种是评估，我们都知道苹果怎么是。
Yeah, that's right. So tonight's meeting, there's 3 sections in tonight's meeting. The first one is prepared speeches, and the second part, the table topic part, we are going to have election, and the last one is evaluation. So before we start the whole meeting, let's look at today's theme and the word of the day. So Ursula, we want to start explaining our theme and the idea why we come up with it.
Yeah, so for this portion, we decided to do this. I will do this in English, she'll do this in Chinese, because we have a deeper meaning about what this means culturally and also from a language perspective. And we thought, okay, for the candidates and people coming up here and trying to convince people that they are the appropriate person for a particular role for this particular time in their Toastmaster experience, there's a great idea of selling yourself. And in the US anyway, it's probably a little bit more comfortable for people than in China, is my guess. So we can talk about that, but I thought to present that idea that culturally that might be a little bit awkward for people. And it can be something that's a little bit awkward depending on the gender that you are. So stereotypically, men can be a little bit more outgoing than women. Obviously, this is not always the case. And selling yourself can be done by means of many different styles. And we thought, okay, when you sell yourself to be sort of believable and approachable and human-like, it's really nice to have a sense of humility. And then that range of humility also varies depending on the context. And I thought, well, we want to say that we're good at something or we have these skills. And the way we do that is really important. And sometimes when I get impatient, for example, I might say, oh, I'm just really good at this. I don't want to get competition. I don't want to waste my time explaining this. And in other cases, I might say, well, you know, I do have a lot of work to do here in this area, but I have spent a lot of time, and I understand there are certain things that I still need to examine, and I might be a little bit more humble about it. So that's why we wanted to combine these ideas, and I wanted to have each of us get a chance to talk about it from the cultural perspectives.
Yeah. 对，所以自我推销就是展示自己，然后中国人的文化呢就比较，中国人比较内敛，比较保守，所以对自我推销这个就是有一点点困难吧。但是我觉得现在就是说，现在其实很多人都已经做得挺好的，这个自我推销。然后这个今天的 Word of the Day， 今天的每日一字就是谦虚。谦虚就是一种态度，一个人很谦虚，就是说他非常的，用英语就非常的 humble， 就是说他会，虽然他可能在某一个方面很有技能，但是他都非常的谦虚，向其他人学习。So that's it。
你的英文说很好
啊，过奖，这个就是谦虚。Right, so we need to introduce the 4 helpers of tonight's meeting, and that is our counter, Kathy. And do you want to stand up and tell us what you do as our counter?
I don't know what you are doing.
Do we have a volunteer who's a little bit more experienced with the Toastmaster meetings to give her a hand and just to describe this real quick? Perfect.
So I might come when people speak. When people speak, you know well. So, but yeah.
就大声一点，大声一点。
When people speaking about but and so all you know well, I will come please.
Yeah, that's very good. And then we have a grammarian, Deborah. She's not in, but Elia is going to take over that role.
OK， 我是代替 grammarian 文法官。文法官我的责任，我的工作就是希望你用今天新介绍的这词。My job as a grammarian, of course, is to introduce the word of the day and also the theme.
Oh God.
And so actually, my job has been very well done by the 2 Toastmasters there. I'm basically we was going to talk about the beautiful words that they chose. 自我推销, which is very very clearly just described, and 谦虚 is humility. Today, hopefully, you will learn and put those words in your communication, either in English or Chinese. And I was also, as a grammarian, will be listening to good usage of either language and not so good usage of either language. That's what it is.
谢谢。And we also have a timer.
Kyle 说1点钟了。
对，很好。
So my job as timer is just to keep track of how long the speeches are going. And it's when it's okay, I give the green, and when it's getting close to the end, I give yellow, and then when it's at the end, I give red. So that's my job as timer.
Yay!
Deborah's here. Maria's here. Deborah's here.
Welcome. So.
Hey, Deborah.
Deborah 在这里。
Sorry. So shall we start?
Yeah. Do you want to hand over the grammarian role right now? Just so.
I'll just take over because she is preparing a speech.
Perfect. So we're clear on that. Okay.
Hi, how are you? Hi. Hello. Have a seat. Toastmaster. That's right. Yeah, that was right.
Welcome.
Welcome. Definitely.
欢迎。
我们 们的第一次演讲是JJ 的 JJ 在哪里？
JJ 没来，所以我们是
OK， 你可以。
So we are going to, yeah, JJ is not in. So Sue will be speaking. Will be the next speaker, and the title is "I'm a Good Driver." So driving in San Francisco is terrible. So we want to hear her story by being a good driver.
I can introduce Sue's speech.
先把评估叫。
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so sorry. Johan is the evaluator of Sue's speech. So Johan, you want to speak about the focus of her speech tonight?
So today I'll be evaluating Sue's fifth speech in the Competent Communicator Manual, Your Body Speaks. And again, as Jessie said, the title of her speech is I Am a Good Driver. And the purpose of the Competent Communicator fifth speech, Your Body Speaks, the purpose is to really create and enforce body language during the speech. So some things that I'll be looking out for are Sue's stance, her movement, her gestures, her facial expression, and her eye contact, which will really show that she's confident and believes in what she's talking about.
All right. Oh, that's her car.
I'm a really good driver. Don't talk. No radio, no music. Sue, do you need a massage? Don't touch me. This is the posture that I had from San Diego to Los Angeles. For 2 hours and a half, 7 miles exactly per hour, was driving like this. After 2 hours and a half, I was extremely exhausted. My hands got wet. My shoulders got stiff. I really was tired. But at the end, I felt actually proud of myself because it was my first, the longest driving in my life. Here, question. When did I get my driver license? In 2007. As soon as I went to university, I wanted to drive a car because it looks so cool. Whenever my mom drives a car or my friends driving a car, not my friends, but seniors. So I always wanted to be a cool, really awesome driver. So like in my imagination, like driving like this, you know. This is not, it's also my fantasy, but kind of driving like this. This never happened. For 5 years, never driven a car. Because I was born in Seoul, I was raised in Seoul. A lot of people in Seoul. There are so many cars. To go to school, 20 minutes by car without cars on the road. But in rush hour, in the morning, after work time, 1 hour and 55 minutes usually. So even though my mom was kindly suggesting me to give a ride, never. Subway is always faster, always. No bus, always subway. So I already got used to taking subway, so I never really had a chance to drive a car. But I believe that was a good driver because I passed the exam at once. It was easy. I studied, I just enrolled in school and just passed it once. So I thought I was a good driver, but I hadn't driven a car. But when I actually came to San Diego, I got stuck in my room for 5 days. I wanted to go to La Jolla Beach so bad, but I had to take a taxi or a cab taxi or a bus, it was really hard to get there. So I decided to practice driving one more time. So I called Korean instructor who was teaching the difference between American driving road regulations or all the signs or how to drive. I took 3 times classes, and he even said I was a good driver. I was driving a car, I never did a sudden start or like sudden stop or accelerate fast. I never done that. So, of course, I passed the exam at once again. I got California driver license. I got it at once. I was so happy. I was really excited. So that's why I've been to LA, even there was that poster, but I was really happily driving. So I was very, very confident. I had no humility. I was just good driver for a while. One day I was driving in downtown of San Diego. My best friend navigation was off on vacation, just for 5 minutes. I was that much confident. And something happened. I turned left. I thought there was one way. I was facing the bus and car. Was the worst memory in my life. I got turned extremely red, really, really red, of course. But the thing that I couldn't forget was people's face expression. Like people were pointing, like she's dead. Oh my! Like people are close. Some grandmoms were like closing their mouth. Like I was so nervous because of that facial expressions. The fact that I was facing the bus was okay, actually, because I was more like people were like yelling, screaming, oh my god, like it was hell. But luckily, I was very, very lucky. Luckily, the traffic light was red, so the cars were just stopping there. So I was fine. And also, very luckily, there was a small aisle to reach the mall, so I could pull over the car and breathe. I wasn't breathing. I was red and just like sweating, everything. I could breathe and almost tearing out a little bit. But I realized that I wasn't a good driver, obviously. I just started learning, but I wasn't a good driver. Actually, the title is wrong, even though I sent it to her. The title was supposed to be, I want to be a good driver. So, who can help me practice driving? Thank you. Thank you for listening. 现在 JJ 不在这里，因为because Elliot has in the past recommended that we have pocket speeches, we're going to see if we can pop one out of somebody. Does anyone have a pocket speech? And you're limited to 3 minutes because we're going to consume some time finding one.
Is Jessie coming?
JJ，
JJ， 他是迟到还是？
他应该是迟到了，
不是说不会来？
他没有跟我说他不来。So I think she's probably late.
Can we use this time to have the guests introduce themselves?
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. And let's start with Lou.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Let's do looking in.
站起来。
Hi, my name is Luke, and I actually moved to San Francisco yesterday.
Oh
my goodness.
I'm just here to practice my Chinese.
Where did you move from?
Sacramento.
Okay.
What brought you to Toastmasters?
I just want to practice my Chinese.
Okay.
That means
Oh.
that.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And then,
Hi, my name is Joan, and I live in San Francisco, and I'd like to practice my Chinese.
All right. Welcome.
and then who else?
How about this person? Roger?
Yes.
Because I remember you said something to her.
So my name is Roger Rodriguez. So I'm a software engineer in San Francisco. I've been to Toastmasters before in Foster City for my last batch. I am a co-founder of my company's charter, Toastmasters. I began 3 years ago, but then it get to the population get to be diminished to the point that nobody comes anymore. So we closed it down. And then moved to San Francisco, hoping to pick it up and try to deliver more professional quality speech in Mandarin.
Yeah, very good.
Welcome, Roger.
If you want to just pass these two back, we have some agendas here for you guys to follow.
So, then that brings us to the most important. Oh, sorry.
我的名字是 Grace， 我2个礼拜前来过，可是上个礼拜没有。我也想把我的国语、中文进步，也想演讲进步，所以我就今天来。
欢迎。
欢迎。
现在我们有我们的第三种是评估，对不对？不是
竞
对不起，
选
竞选
演讲，
这很新，
这个很重要 ，very important 竞选演讲。So next part is the most important and special part of tonight's meeting is our election speeches. So let's welcome Elliot and Albedo to.
All right.
Something different, warm and hot, Jin and Jan.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
Thank you, facilitator number 2.
It's going to be an easy job. There are different styles. We can use the Swiss style where everybody raise their hands. We can use the democratic style. Also, I learned in China we can use the communal. All the people get together in the square and I vote for this and that. We have ballots if there are one people. We can use electronic, but we are not the proxy doesn't allow to do that. Otherwise, it would be really good. So we have some tiny rules, and the rules are based on transparency, good leadership, and communication. It's selling yourself. Each candidate have to speak for 2 minutes, and I think the timer, can you read, raise the yellow card, which is 1 minute, just really high. And the red is the 2 minutes. So people will already know 2 minutes you are over, but you can figure out what to do. You can speak in any language. Cantonese, Chinese, Mandarin, Spanish, Chinglish.
Swahili?
Yeah,
No
Swahili.
English.
There is, if there one more, another rule, if there is more than one candidate, we need to let the candidate to speak, and then we will decide who is the best. And also, I listen from Ursula. I believe in diversity and inclusion. Does anyone want to nominate any person? In this moment, the floor is open. So we have for president, we have Alan, Barry, and Johan. any nomination?
Wait, hold on. Who is that?
All those names are here. I just wrote what they told me. Alan, Barry, and Johan. Is any nomination?
Can I nominate Ursula?
Sure.
Of course. Wait, who put my name there?
There is any nomination?
So point of information for those of you who are fairly new to this nomination process in Toastmaster, we have an election every 6 months for clubs that meet weekly. We also have clubs that meet bi-weekly. They have the position allowed for 1 year. So the fact that your name is up here means that somebody in this club thought highly of you, that thought you may be one of the 7 Jiawu, one of the 7 magnificent leaders. At this point of order, you are being nominated. If you decline, you may say so, but we actually want to let, Alberto and I really believe whoever nominated you thought highly of you.
Right.
And we also opened the nomination as well today. If you think of anybody else or yourself, you are most welcome to nominate yourself or somebody else. The nomination now is open for president of this fantastic club. Do I hear any nomination?
Do they have to be here to be nominated, or we can?
Well, I think it's, for this position, I think really they should be here.
I think it's fair. To answer your question, there are some clubs that nominate people who are not here. And what happens is, the next meeting they show up, suddenly they find they're president of this club. We don't want to do that. Okay, those are silly. This is a very, very precious. Yes, Ursula.
I would like to nominate Elliot Mao.
Elliot Mao?
I need to decline. Why? Because I am a mentor for this club. And the mentor, by definition, is a person who finds new leaders. How about that?
Good.
Any nominations?
Okay, hearing none, we are going to close the nomination right now. And these 4 people are going to come up here and give a 1 to 2 minute speech about why they think they are qualified to be president of this incredible club.
So, Tiger, 1 minute, 1.5, and 2 minutes. Let's start with, by alphabet order, with Alan.
Alphabetical. You should give me more A than A. Ready, Hammer?
Okay, so at 1.5 minutes yellow, and then at 2 minutes red?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here for such a precious night for election for the next term. As you guys know, it's going to be very, very important for a club to move forward. Now, for those of you that just got here, I'm actually the current president of the club. Now, I understand that I've done such a fantastic job this term of president. You guys want to nominate me again, which is good. I really appreciate that. But for the next following term, I actually have my eyes set on something else. I wanted to be more taking the back row, and but in the same time also be on the exec team. So I actually nominated myself for a different position. But at this point, I still want to be on the team to help this club move forward for sure. Yeah, and but I do want to give this opportunity, this opportunity to someone who is ready to step out and take the presidential role. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead gracefully declare myself for this position. And I do nominate myself for a different position. So thank you so much for nominating me. I appreciate it.
Yay. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alberto.
The next candidate, Barry.
Actually, to be honest, I honor, flatter, I don't know, whoever nominated me. idea of me. But just to be honest, like I don't think I'm ready for this. First of all, like time commitment is a big thing, and then second of all, I don't think I have enough experience, right? So I would like to say I would decline on this position. I'm willing to help out, right? Like other role or like more not core role. I think this president is a pretty key role in this team. I think we should pick someone with more experience, Johan or Ursula. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay. But you did hear he may be willing to take the other roles.
Right.
Okay?
The third is Johan.
Johan!
I'm actually surprised that I was nominated as the president of this club. I also don't think I'm qualified, but I was previously the sergeant at arms during the last 6 months of this club. And as you can see, when you come to this room, those of you who have been coming regularly, you can see that everything's set up right. The gong's always here, the table's always here, the tables are always neat, the banner is always here, the name tags are lined up. That's all my work. Because the sergeant at arms is the keeper of the stuff, as Elliot says, and I'm definitely the keeper of the stuff. Everything is always set up. The camera stand is always ready to go. You know, there's always things going. And there's always plenty of agendas, and I always make sure that the agendas are distributed properly. You probably come in and see me distributing the agendas or making sure that everybody has their name tags. So I'm very organized, and I know how to keep track of things and set things up for the room and set things up for the club and ready for the meeting. Thank you.
And the last candidate,
Ursula!
Ursula.
Gracias. So thank you, Jesse. One of the things that I find interesting is that we are oftentimes nominated to do things that we have a long history with because we're good at them, and they can be a little bit old hat after a while. And I certainly love education, and I can do a wonderful job as a VP of education. I could also support somebody in that role. So either way, there's a win there. And I hear from other people about the feeling of lack of experience, and I think that's an interesting thing, and it puts me in a good position right now because I also feel the same way, but I'm realizing that a lot of people feel that way, and without doing something, you can't gain that experience. And so you have to stretch yourself a little bit, and whoever gets this role is going to be stretched, and I think it's going to be beneficial for everyone because there are people around that can support that person in this role.
Good point.
Thank you.
It looked like so easy.
I would like to say at this point that what the two Toastmasters mentioned, that 这些人太含蓄了. We have too many people here that are humble. And there's another reason that I'm going to address. Some of you were not here last week when I talked about the 7 different roles here. What the 7 different roles is just one of 7 leaders behind this group. You are not alone in any of this position. So at this point, because I'm not ready to accept that these people are not qualified, I'm still opening the nominations up for anybody who really wants to step up to this position. For example, the president's role, by rank in this culture, in this thing, they think that it is the highest. We need to know right from the beginning that in Toastmaster, we never think in terms of that, of rank. Everybody is encouraged to be a leader and behind the group there. So if you really want to know what the president does, he doesn't do anything. No, just kidding.
That's half true, though.
Essentially, this is what the president does. You call one meeting a month of your 7 officers and decide 4 of the most important things that this club needs to deal with. Either membership or a contest or membership encouragement and distribution of roles, or whatever it is that this club needs to address, whether or not it is in danger of going backwards or there's something that will go forward. What this happens is when he or she calls that meeting, all 7 of you are meeting together. So I could see either Alan or Barry or Johan or yourself. But to be truthful, Alan has already had that experience. And in this club, we would like to have somebody else to experience that. And when you're thinking of the time commitment, there really is not any more time commitment than you want to do to develop yourself as a leader. As a leader, you called 7 people up and say, let's figure out what to do this month, okay? But the other thing that's really attractive about this position is that out of the 7, there are only 2 roles in this entire thing that has a chance to exercise the communication part. The president opens and welcomes the guests every single meeting, meaning you have a chance to exercise your 中文普通话或者英文2样都可以用. So the other one is the sergeant at arms. He also calls the meeting in order in either language there too. So if you think about that, the role of president now is open to all of you who could at least call 1 meeting a month and just make sure every 7 of you have something to do to share the responsibility of this club. We are not asking you to be president of the United States. We're asking you to be the one leader that holds all 7 of you together. So at this point, yes, Alan, would you?
Yeah, I was just wondering, can I chime in a little bit after you're done with it?
Yes.
Yeah, I just like to say that, the 6-month term that I had as a president, I really get, and I really learned a lot from this position. From organizing and coordinating with all the officers to networking and just expand your horizon with the different offices or different clubs, it has totally blown up my mind. Like, I have gained so much out of it. And in terms of commitments, sure, we want a club to move forward. Everybody has their own lives as well. But the commitment-wise, it's really not that much. You just get everybody together and talk about the issues and just move forward from that point on. It's really not that much. And I really do encourage you guys to take this opportunity, because this is really a golden opportunity for you to step out, to be who you want to be, to take where you want to be. I really do encourage you guys to take this opportunity.
谢谢，支持我总统。现在就是为了刚刚他说的，我就把这位先生他的名取掉。
Thank you
因为他已经有那个机会了，这次机会应该其他的人来抢，其他的人来抢。还有呢，刚刚 Ursula 他也说得很清楚，他需要做 VP of Education。如果是这样子的话，我就待会儿就把他的名字写在这边来。这样子的话，我们现在还有这2位 ，OK。但是再加上呢，我现在也想到其他的人，有一位先生叫 Marco， 他其实也有资格。He is very well qualified.
Marco.
还有一位，我觉得 Robert， 他也有资格。
But I think Ursula's name can be still remain there, no?
It's up to her.
You can choose or decide if you can be in the group.
So you want to run for this?
Representing the gender or yourself. Put it that way.
So what?
Apparently, you have a member who feels very strongly that you would be a good president.
Yes.
You see, and then you also, if she does not get elected to be president, then we will have the next election, and everybody has a chance to jump in again and go for the other roles. So your name could remain on there if you want to go for the presidency, and then after election we will see if you want to jump in again, unless you're already president. Then you can't jump in.
Can I say something? Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You're very kind in nominating me. I respectfully decline because of work requirements, and I cannot be honestly saying I'm committed to the meeting. Sometimes, because of work reasons, reason, so for that reason, I would respectfully decline. Thank you.
Okay. So Mark respectfully declines.
And Robert, can you give a speech for 2 minutes?
Yes, Robert.
Well, thank you, Elliot, for nominating me to become the president of this club. I know the club itself is very challenging to handle. There are many tasks at hand to deal with, like Elliot said, memberships and retaining people. I don't have a lot of experience in that matter. I'm sure Alan does. But perhaps I will try my best to do that and hopefully get the help from other people to make this club a successful club. Thank you.
It's called Twisted the Arm.
No, it's not twisted the arm. It's actually, I have full confidence in almost all of you. Okay. About commentary about the work part there too. I want you to know that all of us have work. I want you to know that all of us are very busy. So the fact that if you do volunteer to be one of 7, and that you know that it is not you doing everything, you are 1/7 of the work that are involved, and that when you cannot make it, one of your 7 officers will take over. That is the whole definition of why Toastmaster is unique, okay? Unique. So at this point, I'm saying that those of you who really want to withdraw, it means that you are totally at liberty to do that. But think twice about that. If we do say that your only obligation, say for instance for president, is to organize 7 people and then see that those are done. Alan will be part of the 7, by the way, because he's going to run for 1 office. Ursula, either way, is going to be part of 7. Robert, no matter what, you are not alone. So don't be afraid of the position. That's the only thing I'm looking. And I hear sometimes in Toastmaster that people are pushed into the position and coerced into the position. This is not what this club is founded on. It should never be on here too. Alan took this role and he got a lot out of it, as with all of you. What these people mean, that they are the ones who put out this meeting to you every week. For that's why we are going to. So at this point, does Barry and Johan still want to drop out?
Yes or no?
Does Johan want to drop out? I didn't hear that. Did you?
No, I'll stay in the
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Barry?
Yeah, I will drop out.
Sure? Okay. So at this point,
Wait, why do I have to be omitted from there?
you could.
Okay, that's good.
Alberto.
Hey, this is, you talk at the beginning about gender, power, whatever, so let's be fair.
Yes.
Okay.
At least there's representation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. All of you, as Alberta says, have a ballot, okay? At this point, we would like you to cast your ballot for the president of this. Yes.
Who do you want?
Is it one piece of paper?
Just one piece of paper.
One
Yes.
position?
The
For this,
name.
and then we're going to go to the next one.
names.
You don't want to wait until they're all there just in case
No,
there's duplicates? Like, if Ursula's the president and the VP, like, how do I know which one I want to vote for her?
Well, she's going to move down if she were to not get elected from the president automatically. Yes. Yes.
Already?
Yes.
Right.
This is what we call the new democracy.
Democracy.
And she made a decision
New
to
democracy.
enter this one. Okay. And all of you should
That's
make a
what we
decision.
believe, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But the president, we want to keep this, the nominations are closed now.
Okay, you guys what's your name?
I wrote it.
Raise your hands, I collect the votes. Pretty good, huh? It's fun.
So the first one is Robert and then
Ursula and Johan. Yes.
I'm sorry.
We have all the votes.
Okay. In the meantime, think about the unique energy. There is a chocolate over here.
Yes.
Provided by Elliot. Chocolate has been
I bought chocolate. I'm buying your votes, but you know I'm not a candidate.
It just made you brave to be more active, thinking more about.
Okay. So the next position called Vice President of Education, and those of you who are not here for my little description of that, I want to talk about it briefly, and then we will accept nominations for Vice President. The Vice President of Education is almost like, say for instance, if you want to be somewhat sexist, the President's role is somewhat masculine to take care of the managerial part. The Vice President of Education is almost on the nurturing part. You will make sure you have a spreadsheet of all members in this club, and you will take a look at all the members in this club. There are 2 tracks in Toastmaster. One of them is for communication, to become better speaker. The other one is to become better leaders. And in Toastmaster, both things are very important. Leaders, say for instance, you will get a chance to be Toastmaster of a meeting. You will have a chance to be a timer and so forth. And you also have a chance to be an executive office. The other part is the book. So this VP of Education, she or he is tracking every single member in this club and make sure all of you are encouraged to go forward. But because this is such a big role, we are encouraging all 7 officers to look at that spreadsheet together with the VP of Education and make sure all of you are moving forward in your speeches, in your ambitions, okay? So at this point, the nomination is open now for Vice President of Education.
We had a president already.
Oh, okay. So he's going to announce the president.
It's my pleasure to announce the next president for the Toastmaster, the Mandarin Toastmaster, Robert Trapp.
Okay.
Nice job. For VP Education, we have Alan, we have Marco, and Ursula. We need more nominations. The floor is open for nominations. Names?
The nomination now is open for Vice President of Education.
I'd like to nominate Sue.
Sue.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Any nomination?
I would like to respectfully decline. No, I'm very positive about this group, believe me. But if I can really come into the meeting, like tonight, I tried. I didn't even realize that I tried my best to sneak out of my meeting. So, but in long term, I'm not doing the group a favor by not showing up and not being consistent. So thank you.
Any
And we
nomination?
have very big candidates here, believe me.
Any nomination?
Thank you.
I do want to gracefully decline my nomination for this one because I have my eyes set on something else.
Whatever you want, we'll vote for you.
Okay. Amy.
I nominate myself.
Amy.
I'm so honored to be nominated, and I was so happy to be a membership, a VP of membership, but I'm leaving. I'm going back home in 2 months.
This is true. She's not making it up. Okay, she's not trying to dodge this. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, she will be still helpful before she leaves.
Yeah, sure.
Any nomination?
Any more nominations? The nomination for Vice President of Education is open. Hearing none, we are going to close the nomination now, and we're going to have the floor open for Amy and Ursula to go. So alphabetically, we will have Amy come up. 随便你，英文、中文都可以。欢迎你要自我推销。2分钟。哦，2分钟啊。2分钟，2分钟的自我推销。
She has to finish the chocolate first.
Yeah, the chocolate is very good. So, I speak both English and Mandarin. So also I was pretty active in non-profit organization before. So being help around and then yeah. So I would like to commit more responsibility to the club. So I nominate myself to be VP of Education. Okay, please vote for me.
Madame Ursula.
So this is the shit I carry around with me every day. Why? Because I love learning, ironically. This is my tablet for all of my languages. I've organized it so that I don't have to dig in multiple places all at once. I can tell you 100 different tips about how to learn, how to study, how to organize your information. I've been working in high tech for 10 plus years as a technical writer. So what does that do? It organizes information, and when you have a lot of information, you look at the information, you determine what type of information you have, and then you chunk it all together and it makes sense. So what looks like a jumbled mess, if you're looking at a speech, for example, actually has some threads throughout it. And when you look at those threads and you discover what they are, the speech actually has cohesion, even though you might not think so. You just move things around, change a bit here, change a bit there. And also you want to have a particular goal in mind for any particular speech. It could be the objective, obviously it has to relate to the objective of a particular speech, but it also might be something that's personal to you. It could be something that you might not necessarily want to share with somebody, or maybe you want to say, hey, listen to my speech and I'm working on this, so you're going to be this private person who's going to give you feedback about this particular item. So I have tons of information about education, and I think that education across the globe is handled differently, and people relate to people who coach and instruct individuals differently, and I really like the idea of injecting a lot of respect into a position of someone in a role of education. In the United States, oftentimes it's looked down on in comparison to other roles. So it's actually a thought I had today as I was hanging up laundry in the laundry room at home. Even if I don't get elected for this position, feel free to talk to me about anything you're learning. Thank you.
I almost convinced to vote for you.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness, in trouble when the candidate convinces another candidate to vote for them.
That's what they call persuasion.
Wow, good job.
But I ain't really funny.
Okay, so at this point, cast your vote. Don't listen to the comments. Cast your vote for the candidate for Vice President of Education.
Oh, it's right here. Oh,
Where's my...
right here, right
So
here.
while he's telling you the vote, let me tell you about the next officer position called Vice President of Membership. The bare bone responsibility of a Vice President of Membership is that your job is to turn a guest into a member. That's all you have to do. Now, as simple as it is, because it has to be simple, of all the positions that you think of, that is a very important role. Meaning for all of you guests who come here for the first time, his or her responsibility is to be able to make sure that you understand what the club is about and whether or not there's something in it for you. Do you have the envelope, mister?
Yes, I need the
Drum rolls, please.
And the winner, Vice President of Education is
Ursula!
Ursula! Thank you, Amy.
I'm going to come to you and ask about
Then let's see, we have 3 candidates. Alan, Michael Leonard, who is not here, and Sherry Tang, who is not here.
They still vote for them. They're not here.
Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're up.
Thank you so much. I feel like today's my show. I've been here like 3,000 times, but believe it or not, this is what I've been eyeing for. I really think that growing membership for this club is a very important aspect of this club. And when I was in the president term, I feel like there's a lot of good ideas that unfortunately I didn't get a chance to share with my executive officers because it popped out to me too late. Okay, but it was never late. Well, it's better late than never. So I sincerely believe that with this role, I'll be able to give out a lot more ideas about how to recruit members, and I can definitely, I can pretty good and turn guests into members. With that being said, yeah, I do appreciate, and I really do believe I will be a good asset if I do take on this position. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Michael Leonard, Ms. Sherry, you are here by proxy. At this point, if you're not here to give a speech, in all fairness, we will all vote according to who you heard and who you didn't hear. Okay, so cast your vote for who you think would be the best candidate for Vice President of Membership.
I decline.
I
reject. Have to be good looking.
I'll be good looking. It's smart and funny. It's smart and funny.
That's why I reject.
So while we are collecting counting the ballots for that position, I'm going to talk to you about the Vice President of PR, Public Relations. Essentially, this role is a person who is going to do the marketing of this group. Those of you who are thinking that you're eligible for it, what you do is just use whatever it takes. The old media, the new media, social media, horse and buggy, carriage, billboards, everything, to get the word out about what this club does, the meetings, the events, and also Toastmaster. So at this point, who is our winner?
Alan.
Yay! Congratulations! All right.
I have a question for Alan. I'm trying to check in Foursquare for this meeting and I can't.
Oh, what? What? Oh, you mean the Facebook?
No, the Foursquare. We need a Foursquare for this. That's your first task, I guess.
Okay, all right.
No, that's the PR's job, by the way.
Okay.
That's PR's job, yeah.
VP of Public Relations.
Whoever wins this one.
We have Deborah.
We have Jesse. And we have Robert, but Robert is already the president.
Yes, no.
Is any nomination?
The nomination is open now for Vice President of Public Relations. We have Deborah and we have Jesse.
I nominate the lady sitting in front of me.
Okay?
Thank you so much for the nomination. The same reason as you. Since I travel so much and I cannot commit myself for the schedule.
Okay.
Do it this time.
All right. Thank you very much for announcing. The only person who actually gets away with this are people who tell me they travel.
actually, that's not true because you can do PR through online.
Correct.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I will accept the nomination.
Oh my God!
你 face 是什么？
Any nomination. Remember, we live right now in different world. We don't send letters unless you have really good friends. If you send package.
Okay.
Probably the next 6 months we have something different from Facebook, whatever, who knows.
Whoever knows. That's
Okay.
the new way. All right, so now we're going to have speeches. Who else is up here? No, that's it.
That's
Okay.
it, yeah.
Alphabetically. Deborah.
Hi everyone. My name is Debbie Rocket or Deborah, either way, and I'm running for the position of Vice President of Public Relations. The main task that I like to accomplish over the next 6 months is to build our online presence for this club. Because Mandarin is the most popular language in the world in the Bay Area. There are so many people who are either learning it or who come here and are learning English as a second language and love opportunities to speak English in front of a large audience. So I think one of the first things I'd like to do in order to build the online media presence is to create pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also Foursquare now, so that more people are aware of the club and update it regularly for meetings every week, and also maybe profile different club members, what you're doing, what your backgrounds are, maybe the content of your speeches, whatever, just to make sure there's an online presence for the club. And in addition, I think another thing that might be useful is to look into creating business cards for the club and passing them out to everybody, so that when you guys are networking in your own groups of friends or business or whatever, you can all be spokespersons for the club as well and help promote it. So I think I'm qualified for this role because I'm interested in this club, and please vote for me.
And our next candidate is Jessie.
Jessie.
Right. Yeah, thank you for the nomination, and I feel happy. I think I haven't got much experience in PR, but because I care about this club, and I think I might not know everyone individually, but collectively I think it's a good club, and I want to try to help the club as much as the club has helped me to improve my public speaking. And yeah, if I'm elected for the PR, and I would do pretty much the same thing because we haven't really got the online presence like Facebook and LinkedIn and Yelp, and we haven't really promoted to link to different events. I know there's many websites listed free event in San Francisco, so if we go on that, we might attract more people. And I hope by doing all this, we can just connect old member, new member, everyone come here, learn, make friends, and have a good time. So thank you.
Thank you, Jessie. And now our third candidate, Yves.
Thank you, Marco, for nominating me. And I'm most honored to be here as this is my third Toastmaster event after my first one. I would like to encourage you to vote for the previous two ladies, as the club, I feel, needs new fresh blood, new fresh ideas to be published to the general public, as my way of public relationships is more traditional, more client referral, going to meetings, going to shows. And all that being said, I'll be very happy to give ideas and supporting these two ladies. Oh, thank you.
Well, I told you we have a very creative membership. So at this point, we are going to cast, yes?
Oh no, I'm just gonna cast my ballot.
Okay. Cast your vote.
Electronically.
Electronically. Electronically.
Next time we'll do the by phone.
Oh, here you go.
Good? Anybody else?
While he is collecting the ballots and counting the vote, I'm going to talk about the treasurer's vote. As we said last week, this is the CFO of this company. And for those of you who are getting too involved with the very, very detailed description of the fiduciary responsibility of this club, I just want to say this role is basically this. You just say, give me the money. Give me the money. Pay your dues. Okay. So I'm jokingly about that, but I also am not joking about that. There's only one way Toastmaster could tell how many people are in your club, and also whether or not you are officially qualified to be in contest. Those are the only two. The way they track you is if you have paid your dues. That being said, that the Toastmaster, the treasurer's report, he or she will collect the money and submit it on time. That's it. But also, aside from that, you will deal with the money. So at this point, the nominations open for treasurer are.
No, we're right now.
Oh, sorry. The VP of PR.
We have a winner.
We have it.
Is Deborah.
Treasurer. Okay.
We have 3 nominees, Ben.
Ben, Chuck.
Kayla. JJ Chen.
JJ.
Oh, JJ. Oh, yes. Accounting. Right there.
So far we have only JJ. You have any nominees?
I do like to nominate these 2 ladies over here for the treasurer role.
Jessie
Amy.
and Amy. Okay.
Let's start with, this another nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Okay, so we will start with JJ.
Oh, JJ.
Actually, I have a question about this.
Yes.
Do I have to be here like every time? Because I have the same reason as Marco. Like, my working situation is not very good right now.
The question she asked is, here's everybody's question. How much time commitment is there? What I tell this person, as I tell the president of the club, is can we have 1 meeting a month for all the 7 leaders to talk about? 1 meeting per month. Yes, we can. And at that point, that is all the obligations. But it comes time to collect the funds. That's where the vice president, the treasurer, needs to be there and say, Kyle, let me have that check. Robert, where are your dues? Right. So that's the other thing.
Right. Yeah. So I would recommend you to vote for those 2 ladies because I'm probably not going to be here every meeting. So
You don't have to be here at every meeting. Then
but you need to collect the money.
You only needed to collect it at when? Every 6 months.
Yeah, made the entries and the whole.
Toward when the membership.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. So I remember last time I was competing for this role, and I failed because last time I didn't have a job, and now I am officially working as an accountant. So I'm very good at money. So yeah, I would say give me the money every time. So please vote for me.
all vote for JJ because I think she's yeah, she has a job as an accountant, and I think it would be good for her to practice and yeah. Thank you.
Amy. Amy.
Don't say that.
I'm happy to be nominated, but I think I would recommend either or JJ. The good thing about Carla is she's almost be here every time. JJ is accounting, so either Carla or JJ.
Okay. Cast your vote.
I think in this case it's pretty darn clear. Isn't it pretty darn clear?
Yeah. We can just raise your hands, yeah.
Raise your hands for JJ.
Yay.
Okay.
Settle.
JJ.
Okay, and now we have the role of secretary. The role of secretary, essentially, I will describe what it is. Some people think that the secretary's role is either tedious, boring, or heavy, okay? You didn't hear me say that. That's what other people say. The secretary is the historian. She or he will track all the information that has happened at a meeting. So what I recommend for the people who are secretary, there are only 2 pieces of paper that you need to collect throughout the year. Number 1 is the agenda, okay, that shows you who was participating, and then also correct on there who actually participated, because we know roles are changing. The second piece of paper that she or he will collect is the executive meeting when the president calls a meeting and puts out those 4 things. Those are the pieces of paper to track. This way we can find out how well the club operates going forward, and then you could also look at those notes in the past at what worked or didn't work, okay? So that position is basically keeper of the record. So.
Okay, we have Barry.
Barry.
Kayla. Marshiko. And Sam.
And who?
Sam.
Sam.
Sam, okay. Samuel.
Yes.
Samuel.
I'd like to nominate Johan because he likes to keep things in order.
So he says.
That's right.
So he says.
He keeps some other stuff.
I'd like to nominate Jessie.
Jessie.
Very popular.
Do you think she has something to say?
No, I was going to nominate Johan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Joe. Okay. Any nomination?
Okay.
Okay, let's give the chance to Johan.
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 What, not alphabetical order?
Alphabetically, it should be Jessie.
Barry.
It should be Barry.
Yeah. Oh, alphabetically. But Johan's up here. Okay. We don't know what our alphabet is backwards. That's fine.
Thank you for nominating me. I feel very privileged to run for secretary. As many of you said, I am very organized, and I am. I'm a stickler for. I'm a perfectionist, and I'm a stickler for getting things right the first time and having it all neatly organized, so you don't have to look for things. So, when it comes to keeping track of notes or minutes from each meeting, I definitely will try my best to keep everything very organized, keep track of it each meeting, and after each meeting to make sure that it's all put into my little filing system, and that we have all the notes ready. So we need to figure out who was involved in this day or who took on that role. Definitely, I will do my best to keep track of all of that.
Jessie.
Jessie.
Go, girl.
I think we should vote for Johan. I think he's really good, and he has done a lot of work for the club. Because every day we come in, everything's set up, and I think we really need to thank him and appreciate his effort. And I think, yeah, let's vote for Johan.
Okay, so Sam is not here to speak. Barry.
Yeah, I'm actually not a very super organized person. I mean, look at me, right? So my strength really like something else, like creativity or causing problems or talking problems. I think Johan is probably the best candidate for this position. So, let's vote for him.
Okay, so do we need to cast a ballot on this?
Can I ask then can I know who's Surgeon of Arms candidates?
Sorry?
It will be the next.
The next.
We will,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay?
So you explained it coming up.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, we're going to, do we need to vote? It's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear.
Johan. Johan.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
What? It's a sweep.
Wow.
Sweep.
Landslide. Victory.
Okay. Now, at this point, the nominations are open for Sergeant at Arms, and let me make a commentary of that. It is true that Johan has done a fantastic job, okay? And even for that reason, he was nominated to be president as well, just to let all of you know that. And because he is a person who's here, belongs to this company, he has so far become the Sergeant at Arms because he's keeper of the stuff. Now, mind you, Toastmaster is an international organization, and those of you who come here to try your wings out at every single this position, these are not training just for you to be good at San Francisco Mandarin English Toastmaster. You will not only be able to experience this here, but you will be trained by international Toastmaster organization. The skills that you learn here for every single role, they are applicable outside of Toastmaster. That is the whole idea, the whole inception of why Toastmasters was started. You come here because it's called a learning lab. Everything that you wanted to do on a corporate level or out there, this is the safe place to try. And this is the place where you will be trained, you will be educated, you will also be supported. This Sergeant at Arms role is something that I actually trained for the district. And why do I even mention it? Because there is a stigma. There's an idea that it is on the 7th in the rank of all the officers. Meaning that if the president isn't here to greet you, the vice president of education will come up. If she or he is not here, then the vice president of membership. And it goes down all the way to the sergeant at arms. There is a concept that, oh, you're on the bottom rank, okay? It is not true. I have mentioned to this club so many times, you are one of 7 leaders. Your voice is equal to whatever happens to the future of this group. And so far, Johan has been exemplary of that role, meaning he voices opinions of how to run this club better and so forth. Whoever is going to take up this role and they're nominated, this is I want to really, I want to 推销这个位置。为什么呢？因为这个位置很有机会的，每一次开会你有机会说话，是。因为在开会之前的时候，欢迎来宾 ，whatever you want to say. Every single meeting, I challenge the sergeant at arms to say it either with vocal variety, with body language, with some imagination that you have learned to do in table topics. That's why this position is not only the person who sets up, you get to speak at every meeting and you get to be good at it as well, okay? And the person who's going to take it will have Johan's help as well. You know that, okay? So now nominations are open for Sergeant at Arms.
Kayla.
Kayla.
Marco.
Marco.
Sam.
Sam.
Marco.
Like I said earlier, I respectfully thank you.
Okay.
Can I nominate Jessie?
Absolutely.
She's up for it today.
And I would like to nominate Amy as well.
Any nomination?
May I say something? I think you guys are very kind to say that. I'm coming out here, I think you should vote with somebody else. But the reason why we are here, we're going to learn, to challenge ourselves. So this is your chance to convince people that you can do it. And so far, I think all of you can do it. So don't tell us that vote for somebody else. Challenge yourself, okay? We all believe in you, so please.
Any nomination?
Any nomination? The nomination open for Sergeant at Arms.
We have only 2 candidates so far.
Okay. So hearing none, these 2 candidates now, according to what Marco says, you really 你最要自我推销，不要谦虚，听见吗？
And if I may, one more point. Being somebody who's born in Hong Kong, and our culture, Chinese culture, is that you need to be very humble. You don't want to promote yourself, but there's different. There's time for that. In corporate world, at your job, as you know, and taking a position like this, 2 wonderful mentors are. You cannot say, well, I don't really speak very well, but please listen to me. There are times that we want to be a better speaker, a better leader. This is your chance. So tell people why you should be the one. Thank you.
Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
Marco. Next time you can over here. We vote for you. Amy.
Amy.
Oh.
那当然，为什么 Sergeant Anthony 你有资格？你有？请问
Yeah, I would like to be Sergeant Army, but I sometimes very difficult for me to be here. Just like today, I try to be here and then I arrive at 7. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
Jessie，请。
All right, Jessie.
我们的东西在哪里？
I haven't been up here so many times in one evening.
脸皮厚。
脸皮厚。Yeah.
I will vote for you this time.
I can look after stuff. And I live quite nearby, so I can look after stuff. Hopefully, like in a different way, help the club to be a better place for people to come and enjoy themselves.
That's great.
We have 2.
Cast your vote, Amy
and Jessie.
And Jessie. A last vote for the evening.
Electronically. Press 1 for Jessie. 2 for Amy.
Anybody else?
While he is wrapping up the last officer position for this club, I want to say that I am so pleased with the enthusiasm and the sincerity and the humility of this club. It is very obvious from what you've seen today that there is a cultural thing here. The people who came up here, 真是很含蓄. You could think that, okay? Whoever is going to wrap up this entire 7th officer, which is going to be announced right now.
Jessie.
Jessie!
Jessie by all the new leaders. Robert?
Yes, okay. officers.
Alan,
Ah, yeah, that's me.
Deborah,
Who has a
JJ?
camera? Who has a phone?
Oh, I do.
Johan. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
our leaders.
Our leaders for the next administration.
Now it's my pleasure to pass the whole thing to Ursula, sorry, to J.U.
Oh, yes.
等一下，
Oh.
先生 take a picture first. Okay, everybody look at
1、2、3、3。
Yay! All of you will be sworn in at the January meeting. The
I'll be in
area
Germany.
governor. Oh, you will be.
I'll be in Germany. Can I call in?
Sure.
We'll do a Skype.
We'll do voice over IP.
Maybe.
We'll do a paper sculpture of you.
Yeah. We'll draw you out.
Okay. And also you will be given when the district trainings are that are available. Okay. You could still possibly catch one of those. There are ones when they have Genentech and the other one maybe at PayPal. So Genentech is South San Francisco and so forth. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask Alan, me, or Albert. In the meantime, let's all give a round of applause for our new 7 magnificent leaders.
It's a time that I can actually. Since I have Alex.
Sorry, I keep the track of this.
Oh, the meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry about it. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get that
So
one.
Eve is going to be sending the photos and we will
To
be
Alan.
to Alan.
Can you distribute to the rest?
Sure. I can do
Yes,
that.
and we will put it on our website.
Oh, we should put it to new PR.
Okay.
Yes. No, but we need to train her first.
Give it the chance to Johan to provide the.
The evaluation. Yeah.
So we don't have a speech yet.
No, we have a speech for.
Oh.
Okay, you need to bring me up. I'm the January evaluator, so you need to bring me up right now.
We need Johan to come out to give evaluation.
That's why you need to bring me up first.
Oh, sorry.
I will bring him up.
So now we have Robert, who's the general evaluator for the evening.
Now back to the regular school.
Yeah, you're back. All right, thank you, Toastmaster. I'm the January evaluator for tonight's meeting. My role here is to give feedback to how well the meeting ran tonight. But before I do that, I'd like to bring up the first evaluator for Sue's speech, and that is going to be Johan. So let's all welcome Johan.
Thank you, Robert. So I just want to start out by saying that I really enjoyed your speech today, Sue. You had a lot of hand gestures. You really started off your speech. I loved how you started off, and you came up here and you got the seat over, and then you started off in the driver's seat. That was really great, great beginning. You kept up the hand gestures throughout the speech. I remember you said, you know, when you turned left and you came into oncoming traffic and there was a bus there, you said that people on the street were saying, "Oh, she's dead," or you know, old ladies were saying, "Oh no," and you said that you had to breathe, and your hand gestures really demonstrated to us as the audience, really demonstrated how you were feeling in that moment. You had great eye contact. You really focused on various sections of the room as you were speaking. There was also a lot of humor in your speech that made it very enjoyable and very memorable for the audience. The humor definitely served to help to sell yourself and your speech, because it really made your speech sound more memorable. It made it more memorable for us as the audience, and also made it sound more sincere. And your facial expression, you had great facial expressions throughout your speech. You expressed your excitement by telling us about your driving. You had a smile on your face throughout most of the speech. You definitely looked very into it and very excited. I think most of us felt the same way, that felt your excitement. you definitely sounded happy to talk about that topic. And also, when you spoke about your experience about turning left onto that one-way street and coming head-on with that bus, I remember you had a nervous, worried look on your face. And I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that really made the audience, I think that really made us able to empathize with you in that situation. I actually felt like I was with you in the car driving, like, oh no, Sue, what are you doing? This is a one-way street, don't go onto that bus. Your stance looked very confident. You demonstrated confidence and poise, by really, rooting yourself in one spot and really standing tall and straight and projecting yourself to us as the audience. One thing that could have been improved though is your movement. Although you had great eye contact and great body language, you did stand in one place throughout the entire speech. And although you had a great stance that projected confidence, it's when it comes to body language, it's also important to move around a bit, and have some type of movement variety throughout the speech. This is important to grab the audience's attention and get them more involved as they're forced to follow your movements, as well as to add more movement variety to your speech. It's also important to move around because this stage area is a very big area, and it allows you to own this area as a speaker. It allows you to own this area rather than being forced into one small corner of the stage. All in all, your speech was very enjoyable and memorable, and your body language really reinforced what you were saying, and you really acted out your words, which was the whole purpose of this speech. Your body speaks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Johan. And we don't have a second speech today because of the lack of time. So what I'm going to do next is call on the counter to give us a report as to how many ahs and ums